Hey everyone, happy Sunday. I didn't get to go to mass today because I let my son drive us home from visiting uh, his daughter, my granddaughter, and forgot to ask him for the keys. And he's not home, but his phone's here. So I got to watch it on the live stream though. Um, but I thought, I wanted to, since I didn't get to go and you know be with my fellows, I would tell you about what happened when my husband died. Um, I had a few spiritual experiences. Uh, the first one was just before he died. I don't know why, but I felt discomfort. I woke up in the middle of the night and I felt discomfort, and I didn't understand what that was for. And then time went by, maybe a week, and the sheriffs came to tell me that my husband was dead. And I didn't believe him, and I told him to get out of my house. And um, I was angry because they brought my children to my neighbor's house and told my children that their father was dead. And they wouldn't leave. And so I remember being so distraught that um, I had to go get medication just to be able to get through the next few days. And that means the funeral and stuff like that. So um, I was at the florist with my sister-in-law, and it was November. My husband died on November 12th in 1988. I was 28 years old and he was 30. And so it was cold, man. It was cold. We lived in the valley in California, Modesto area. I lived in Modesto at that time. And um, so there I was at the florist, and I was just overwhelmed. I couldn't talk to the florist. I couldn't help my sister-in-law order anything. I didn't I didn't like flowers anymore because they were once used for my wedding and now they're being used for a funeral, and I didn't like anything anymore. And so I went out into the parking lot just to gather myself. And I heard uh, the cars going by, bitter cold, and I guess I didn't wear my jacket or something because I felt really bone chill. And the birds fly south for the winter. There's some birds that stay behind. But where this plaza was, uh, where we were ordering the flowers, they were just bushes, they weren't trees. And it was overcast that day. And I remember all of a sudden the clouds opened and I saw the sun peeking through, and I felt this warmth like right away. And I heard thousands of birds singing at the same time. Thousands, not hundreds, not a few, thousands. And it startled me. And I took that little minute of comfort, but I was so frightened I ran back into the florist because I didn't know what it was. And so when I walked in, I was like in shock. Still, I was in shock from the death, but in shock from what I felt out in the parking lot. And my husband was dead, and I didn't enjoy anything. You know, I took that comfort, but I didn't enjoy that very much because it didn't bring my husband back. And then, I heard this song being played. It was a man's voice, and it was singing to me. It was singing to me. And the words were, I will always love you. I accepted that comfort, but I was still so devastated that, I went home and just wanted to die too. But I had two boys that I had to take care of. One was 6 and one was 4, and I had to be there for them. And I remember being in the shower. I was just standing in there crying. It had been like 3 days since I showered, but I had to because it was time for this stupid funeral, and I didn't want to say goodbye. The night before was the rosary, and it was pouring down rain. Pouring down rain. Like the heavens open, and everyone was crying with us that night. But there I was in the shower, just standing there crying and just begging God, just please let me die. Can I die too? Can you bring him back and take me instead? And I felt this comfort all of a sudden, this amazing warmth. The shower was still hot, but this was a different kind of warmth. It was an amazing warmth. And so when I was in there, I wasn't sure if it was Virgil or not. That was my husband's name. And I just said, I love you. And it's going to be okay. It's okay. It's okay. I know you didn't mean to die. I tried to make him proud. I tried to be a good mother. I feel like I failed so much. I'm sure every mother probably feels that way. I can't look back and say, yeah, I'm so proud of all the choices I made as a mother, because I'm not. It's hard to try to figure out what to do when your kid does this or your kid does that, and you don't want to spank them. And I spoiled them to death because I just felt so sorry for them not having a father. I felt like they had a better parent in him, and they needed their father because they were boys. They didn't need me, and I was so angry at God for not taking me and for taking him. I felt like, he was all by himself when he died, and I felt like God could have done something because I'm his child, and he could have prevented all of this. But what we do is we live in the reality that we create for ourselves. That's what we do. But that one, when I felt that heat in the shower, it reminded me of a Bible verse that blessed are those who mourn, for God will send the comforters. So he sent them before and he sent them after. So I just want you to know that God is real. There's been many times I've felt the presence of God, and oh, I've had these beautiful dreams. Maybe I'll tell you that next. But I've had beautiful dreams, and I'm 61 years old now. And sometimes it feels like only yesterday that I saw him, and he was going to the Bay Area to go wash his truck. He was a truck driver, and visit the cousins. And I didn't go because I had to study for finals. I was in college. And I don't know if he'd still be with us if I had gone, or would we both be dead? Everybody wants to know, how did your husband die? How did your husband die? It's personal. But I thought it would be good to share with you guys, you know, how the God shows his presence in our lives. In times he was there for me when I needed him the most, and I felt abandoned, and I turned away from the comfort because I didn't want to enjoy anything because my husband was dead. And but I felt it. Now I'm closer to God. I asked for forgiveness for being angry. You know, when the book of Job opened on me, you know, I proved myself to be angry instead of taking the blows and keeping my faith strong. I never lost my faith. I just was mad at God. I knew he existed, and I felt abandoned. But guess what? I wasn't. So I don't know if this helps anybody out there. It brings me comfort to know that God was there with me in all my suffering, and he's there with me in all my joy. He's there with me when I'm asleep, and he's there with me when I'm the victim of a crime. He's there with us when we die. He's there with us. I don't know why, you know, some people get to survive things when others don't. I don't know. but I just thought I would share that with you guys because, on a Sunday, we all gather and we worship, and I go on Saturday, um, and then when we can't, there's times when we wish we could, and today was one of those days that I wanted to go and thank God for saving my granddaughter's life because she's been born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome, and she went through some horrible, horrendous surgery. Cut open her chest, her sternum cut open, her heart pulled out and worked on and put back, and she still has another grueling one to go. It won't be as bad as this one or the first one, but she survived, and I don't know how long she'll be with us. You know, I I don't want to ever feel like I did on November 12th. And I don't want my sons to ever know what it's like to lose a husband or a wife or a child. I wish I could shield them, but we're all gonna. So even in those dark days, just know that God's with you and He loves you. And if you don't know Him, man, He really wants you to know Him. So if you want to just be closer to Him, just ask Him. Your heart may feel so empty and you may feel like you're just mouthing words, but put it out there. Put it out in the cosmos and tell God, if you're there, man, show me. And He will. May not be when you feel like it should happen, but it'll happen when it's supposed to, because everything happens right when it's supposed to in God's time. So, have a good Sunday, everyone.